1, 2, 3. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed.
It's finally moon times. And so it is time once again
It's moon time
to record an episode of Doom Generation.
Yay!
So hello.
Hi, how's it going, y'all?
We are here to bring you a fucking cult classic.
You know it, you love it.
Tremors, you guys. Come on. 1990.
Kevin
Liana
Bacon
is here. We couldn't decide who she was, or did we decide she was Walter Chang or?
Oh yeah, you look at the market.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if you guys care who we name our research
She's
assistants
here.
each week,
She
but
brought
she is here.
Ludens.
She brought us some Ludens. You guys remember fucking Ludens cherry cough drops?
I Ludens too quickly.
Gave Tessa a wet mouth.
Mouth is so wet. I'm gonna give you an ASMR experience tonight.
We took the Ludens, or at least I took my Ludens out of my mouth. Did you take yours out, or you ate it?
No, I crunched it right
she
away.
crunched it
I'm
up.
a monster. I can't.
That's why you got wet mouth, is because shards of Ludens are just bleeding inside your mouth.
It's not.
Does it taste like pennies in there?
Yes.
So, business time quickly. Follow us on Instagram at Doom Generation Pod, on Twitter at Doom Gen Pod. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/Doom Generation. $2, $4. Come on. Anything.
You got it.
Just think of it like, what is it? The price of a...
What
is it? The price of a
You know
fucking,
what? The price
costs $2.
It's probably the cheapest thing you could find right now.
Where's our $2? It's the price of a bag of Ludens. One bag of Ludens per month.
Bag of Ludens.
Call us or text us at 702-720-DOOM.
Oh, yeah. We could get textuses that way.
702-720-3666. If you don't already, follow, like, subscribe, rate, review, and share our podcast with your friends.
Share.
Once again, this episode is ad-free thanks to Moss Fun TV. Thank them by watching on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV, or download on your Apple or Android device. Go to mossfuntv.com or call 1-844-4MOSS-FUN for more information.
Go check them out.
So, Tremors.
Yes.
Who doesn't love this movie? Have you ever met anybody in your
Who doesn't
life?
love this movie? Who is it? Raise your hand.
Put them in front of us right now. If you haven't seen this movie,
Bring them before me.
Bring them before the damsels of doom.
Because they shall be harshly judged.
Yes, they shall be.
I don't
If you
know
don't
what that
love
has
Tremors,
nothing to do
something's wrong with
fucking
you.
Something wrong with you.
It's not a great film. It's not like if you went,
No.
if you put it in front of a film reviewer, would they be like, this is one of the greatest
In
films of
fact,
all time? No.
For the very longest time, Kevin Bacon hated this movie, did not like it.
Really?
Was like all upset because it was like one of those things where they just got married.
Oh.
They were having there was like a baby
he
on the
just took
way
it
and he
for the
needed
money.
And at some point, like he like broke down
Really?
and was like, I'm doing a fucking movie about like fucking sandworms.
So it wasn't until it became a cult classic that he decided it was
Later
okay.
on, he decided that it was like the most fun he had ever had, and he ended up really liking it. And
Okay. All
thus,
right. I guess you're
whatever.
forgiven, Kevin Bacon.
He's forgiven.
Hey, we're how many degrees from Kevin Bacon?
I'm
2.
2, I think, degrees from Kevin Bacon.
You guys were only 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
How many degrees are you?
We are 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
That's right. So I probably saw this. My mom had a crush on Kevin Bacon, and so I feel like
don't
she
see
rented
it.
this. No,
I'm sorry, I don't see it. Only
he's a great actor. I don't know if he's a great actor because I'm not a
Well,
judge
no,
of
but
that
I
type
love-
of thing.
I
But I
love
love
Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon.
The only thing that I was moderately attracted to him in was Stir of Echoes.
Kinda, yeah.
little
There was
bit.
something a little bit about,
Yeah.
but not like, oh, I want to hump him. But
And
like,
like
you
in
know,
his personal life a little bit, like he seems like he's really super cool.
he seems like a pretty laid back guy.
Like really super cool. So like I feel like if you knew him in real life, like maybe not so much his characters.
He did an episode of a show that I like where it's like a mock talk show or whatever, and he
A
came
mock
on,
show?
mock show. And he came on pretending like he only came on because of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon,
Oh,
and that he
God.
came on because Haley Joel Osment was in it, and that he had to be by
Can't
Haley
you go
Joel
within
Osment
that?
because Haley Joel Osment was in something with Brad Pitt, but they were like, "Weren't you in Sleepers with Brad Pitt?" And he was like, "Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's right. You do so many movies and you just forget." But it was like all a comedy, like a put on. But it seemed like it was cool of him to, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
knows about the whole. Or didn't he
There
make
was-
up the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
I don't even know, but there was something else that I saw him on where he did or was it a commercial that he did where he did the full on Footloose dance?
I think it was
But
a
it was
commercial
like
for another
the
country.
Footloose dance.
Yeah.
It was on point. It was the choreography because I clocked it. I had an eye for it. It was the
Choreography
5-6
dreams.
shimmy shimmy yes.
Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, shimmy.
Shimmy shimmy y'all, shimmy y'all, shimmy yay.
And you had to have a moment of silence for that one. So, yeah, I've seen this was something that came on TV constantly. Like I was consistently
was on
watching
TV a
this
lot.
up until my 20s, at least like once a year.
Oh yeah, because you'd be
2 times a
flipping through and
year.
you're like, oh shit, Tremors is on. I'm gonna
Tremors,
watch this
exactly.
for sure.
Like anytime it was on, it was like, oh fucking Tremors. So we
But-
have Kevin Bacon as Valentine McKee.
Yes, and Fred
Fred
Ward, who just passed away, I think this year.
Mhm,
Was it?
as-
Did we end up looking that up?
No, we did not.
No, we
as
did
Earl
not. I feel
Bassett.
like it was recent.
I didn't do my what do I know them from? Sometimes you guys,
Well,
sometimes we suck and sometimes we don't.
Michael
just the way it
Groves.
is.
Well, Kevin Bacon, fucking Footloose,
Obviously.
had seen it.
And I want to say she's having a baby. I maybe had
Ooh,
seen.
maybe.
Maybe
I'd seen she's having a baby.
Fred Ward, I don't know if I knew from
No,
anything
I
else.
think this was the only thing.
Michael Gross, of course,
obviously.
Family Ties.
He shot this the first day after shooting the last episode of Growing Pains.
Growing
Sha-na-na-na.
Pains?
Growing Pains, not Growing Pains.
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Really?
Sha-na-na-na.
Family Ties. Right? The next day he became Burt Gummer.
Yeah. Right
That's
after
crazy.
he filmed the
What a
last episode.
transition.
I don't know why. Did I read that? That's weird. I get them mixed up a lot.
Family Ties and Growing Pains.
Yeah, it's just
the
the
name
names.
are,
I
and they were
know.
white people families, you know.
And then of
All
course,
white people look the same. It's hard to
Reba
keep track.
McEntire, I knew from being Reba McEntire, but
Of
this
course.
was also her first film appearance.
And she was fabulous.
Well, that was the thing too. The director didn't want her. There was like that trend of the musician people like doing movies. And so it was like, oh, like another, like they want to come in. And then like when she came to audition, it was like, oh, no,
She was perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we want. Like, she's great. Let's do it.
Finn Carter as Rhonda. Never seen her before. Never
Nope.
seen her since.
Whatever happened to
She
her?
might have just been that character. I don't know.
She was actually a seismologist.
Robert Jane, a.k.a. Bobby Jacoby,
Oh
as
my
Melvin
God.
Plug. You guys remember the Jacoby brothers?
The Jacoby brothers.
There's Billy Jacoby. There's Bobby Jacoby. There's actually more Jacobys, and I think
There's
a sister
more, yeah.
or two. There's at least one older Jacoby boy.
We're gonna
But
do
they-
the math.
They all go by Jane now, Jayne. So you'll
Well, I
find
feel like
Billy Jane
Billy
and Robert
Jane always
Jane.
went by Billy Jane.
Maybe, but I don't know why in my head when I was younger they were Billy and Bobby Jacoby.
Mm.
And one of them came to play celebrity basketball game at my school, and Corey Feldman was supposed to be there, and he canceled. And that's that picture I have where we made that
Oh,
big banner
shit.
that said "Corey, stand by us."
Oh,
And there was like me
shit.
and like 8 of our friends got up in the bleachers at high school
And
with this
Corey
big
didn't
banner.
come?
And there was an announcement right before the game that he was going to be replaced by one of the Jacobys because he
And
couldn't
years
make it.
later, he came through town and we didn't even go because I
Nope.
was going to throw myself on the stage in front of the crowd.
Because
and
you knew it was going to be cringe.
I
and you
knew
were
it
gonna
was going to
feel
be. I
terrible.
knew. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't go.
Yeah. Victor Wong as Walter Chang.
Right.
And Tony Gennaro as Miguel. I didn't write
Yes.
anybody else. Did you write anybody else?
No.
There
No,
was
I didn't.
Nancy and, there's like
Yeah, there's other
I don't
people.
know.
Oh, the little
little girl.
from fucking Jurassic Park.
Mindy is the little girl from Jurassic Park.
Ariana Richards, I think is her name.
Pogo
She's annoying
girl.
in this shit too. Well, there's always got to be a kid in it.
Right.
There's always got to be a kid. Oh, and we got to talk about like Melvin's parents. Like, are they just never
I
around?
have notes later about
Okay.
who the fuck or where the fuck.
right,
who is
because
this? Yeah, I have
like
we'll
because they
get
have
there.
to be like the population of 14, right?
Right, because yeah. In
Right.
fact, we'll have to count. In fact, Liana, start taking count right now
Of
of the
everybody in
residents
the
of
town.
fucking town. Who are the
Perfection.
14 population of perfection.
Yeah.
So we
Look at it.
open on Kevin Bacon, Valentine McKee pissing off the edge of a cliff, and like,
Yes.
holy shit, that cliff.
I know.
Would you stand at the edge of that cliff
Hell
and pee?
fucking no. I don't trust myself. I don't trust
Right
myself.
after you woke up.
No.
Like half asleep, your
I
morning
am
kiss,
klutzy,
a foot from a cliff.
girl.
No, I wouldn't do it
I
either.
am klutzy. I wouldn't even be nowhere near it.
No,
I couldn't.
No.
And I guess this was actually filmed in Lone Pine.
Okay, which
It's
is
based on Darwin.
not super far from here.
No, I've been there. It's nice.
Based on Darwin, which Darwin is a population of what, 40?
Yeah, it was no. It was a population of 32.
Wow.
And it was an ex-mining community and could only be accessed by a single dirt road almost 40 miles away from the next town over. So it's kind of
Crazy.
like how there's the only road here
Mhm.
and it's 38 miles from Bixby. And there's both, is this supposed to be in Nevada?
All
It's
the plates
Perfection,
say Nevada, I
yeah.
think, yeah. So, according to the side of the truck he's next to, they do odd jobs.
Right.
And there's another dude sleeping in the back, and he goes to wake up, wake up,
Wake
him
up,
up.
wake him up before you go. He's not planning on going.
No, he is
solo.
not. So, Mr. Bassett, this is your wake up call. Please move your ass.
Right, and he's not moving his
Nope.
ass, so he jumps up and down and tells them there's a stampede.
Stampede, Earl.
And he rolls right up and
Rolls out the back of the truck, wakes
Mhm.
up, and is all pissed, of
And,
course,
you
because
know, like, you
I
can't
was in a
joke-
stampede once.
Yeah, and he mouths the story like
Yes.
he's heard it. Everyone's heard it. Like he's been in a stampede.
So one of them's got the pack of smokes, the other one's got the lighter. They have their cowboy breakfast of a cigarette
Right.
and argue about who's going to make the food.
Right. It was what was it?
Bologna and
Oh,
beans.
gross. No,
Gross.
No, thank you.
Like, I'm trying to imagine what, you took a slice of bologna and made a
I don't
bean
wanna know.
taco? Or like, how did you eat bologna and
Bean
beans?
taco, how dare you.
Bologna bean
What was that?
taco.
Was it bean taco? What was bean taco?
What is that? That is something, bean taco.
The kid
you
bean
eat
taco.
bean tacos?
or ordered a bean taco. Like, let me get one of them bean tacos. We're
There
like,
was
what?
something with one of my kids, yes, where there was something about a bean taco and it became
Oh,
a thing. I
shit.
do vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
So they argue about whose turn it is to make breakfast, and here's the first time I think we see them Rochambeau for something, right?
Yes, and usually Earl always throws scissors. Did you notice that?
okay.
Except
No,
for
I
the very,
didn't.
very end. He throws scissors every time. I mean, think it's only like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, you see it maybe 3 or 4 times.
But every time but the last time he throws scissors.
And for a second here, I thought they were homeless because
For a
They-
second there.
well, because they slept in this truck
yeah.
out on this cliff.
Well, because
and they're cooking out on the fucking whatever, right?
But you
But
have
so later
to go
you
out
see
there.
they have a trailer, but like right,
Right,
here I
but
was
you-
like, wait, do they fucking live in this truck?
No.
I was like, I never clocked
Well, like
that
if you're
before.
out there like building fences and shit, like you have to be out there for like a while. Like it takes a long time.
I know, but it just seems like once they drove back into town, it wasn't that far. But I guess
Well,
it didn't show
that's
you
true.
how long they drove for. but
Well, I don't
whatever.
know. Maybe it would be nice. Maybe it's nice.
I don't know.
You ever slept out there? I
Uh-huh.
never slept out. I ain't doing it.
And I don't think I've ever slept in a car. I'm trying to remember. I must have at some point.
Mm,
Not like because I had to, but because I just did.
because I
I wasn't ever homeless, but
no, I mean like I've slept in a tent. I don't think I've I
Yeah.
think I've slept in a car. Like we went camping and there was like some in a tent and some slept in the car
Maybe.
and some whatever.
so they
I don't
go
know.
put up this barbed wire fence.
Yeah, they're mending and building fences out in bumfuck nowhere.
Is
and
this
they
a job for intelligent men?
It's what? Just for the sheep and shit. and
Oh
the-
yeah, because there was like farm animals out there. I
there's
guess
like
so just
things out there,
fences
and
to
then
keep
there's
'em from
probably
running off.
also like coyotes.
Maybe yeah.
That's how you say it, right? Coyotes. Like I'm not from this fucking planet. What the fuck? Oh, the jig is up. I'm out. Beam me up.
So Earl asks or was it Earl that asked? Yeah, is this a job for intelligent men? And Val says, I don't know. Show me one. I'll ask him.
Right. Yeah. Like.
And Earl wants to quit being handymen.
Right, but they're having this whole conversation of all the shit that they do. Like they have
Right.
to go for
It's
garbage day,
right?
and like basically they work for everybody, but for basically nothing.
Yeah.
And then they see the researcher out in the field, and they
And
think
he,
it's
like-
the other kid, and they're like, "No, he graduated." He was like, "Oh, this one's supposed to be a girl."
And fucking just
Oh my
hauls
god,
ass.
barrels out. And he was like, "You will have long
Big
blonde
titties,
hair,
blonde
and like
hair.
world class tits, and ass that won't quit, and legs that go all the way up." Woo!
Where else do legs go, Valentine?
Right? I
If
don't
they
know where
don't
they
go all
go.
the way up, what do you have? Just like a missing part
I
between
have,
your knee and your thigh?
a section where there's nothing.
You
it's
guys,
like held-
Tessa's legs don't go all the way up.
It's held
Think about
together
that.
with magnets in there. They're like opposite magnets. It's a weird situation.
Yep.
That's
Some of our
why I
legs
say
don't go all
things
the
like
way up.
that. Because I have legs that don't go all the way up. They're held together by magnets. I am not of this world.
So they they roll up on this researcher Rhonda in her bucket hat with her zinc oxide on her nose.
Oh my God.
And she is there to study seismology.
Right.
She knows all about them.
Earl says, like, oh yeah, geography. And Val's like, no, geology. And she's like, actually, it's seismology. Earthquakes.
And so she's asking them, about any drilling or blasting nearby. I'm getting weird readings on my thing. And they're like,
Right.
well, we'll ask around. We haven't heard anything.
Right. And she's like, well, I'd hate to scrap it all if it's all broken because then
Right.
I'd lose my whole semester or whatever the fuck it is.
So they pull away and she realizes she had this white shit all over her nose. It's kind of like,
Aw,
oops. So Earl's telling Val, hey, we can check out her seismographs to see if we can fix them. And he's like, what the fuck do we know about
We don't know
seismographs?
anything. He's like, well, nothing, but
It might be a slick way to get to know her.
Hey, he's trying to get rid of Val. Like, what is this?
Well, he's like, he doesn't like Val's girlfriends or whatever.
Well, yeah, I guess. Like, she seems like a nice gal.
He said she, like, all the girls that he's into are a waste of fucking space.
well, if they
basically.
don't, like, fit his long blonde hair, green eyes,
Right.
legs that go all the way up, sometimes you're not going to get that.
I want to know if Rhonda, oh no, we do see Rhonda's legs and they do happen to go all
They
the
do
way
go
up.
all the way up. I did, so we
We
can confirm.
did see them. Can
Can
confirm.
confirm.
So they pull into, you see the sign for the town, City of Perfection, population 14. Can you even imagine?
14.
14 people. Did we find out who those 14
Ooh.
people were yet?
I did, and now it's gone.
So they pull up. Oh,
Oh,
I have it.
all right.
all right. The 14 people.
Bert Gummer,
Bert,
Tyler Reed.
Tyler. Wait, who's
Rosalita
Tyler?
Sanchez.
Who's Tyler?
Don't know.
Fuck.
Nancy
Nancy.
Jody Chang.
Jody?
W.D. Twitchell.
Jody Chang.
Yes.
Twitchell?
Walt.
Yes, a W.D. Twitchell. A Larry Norville.
Who, there's
Cletus.
people that didn't exist in this movie.
We have a Cletus Poffenberger.
Cletus.
A Casey Matthews.
What?
Melvin Plug. Harlow Winnemucca.
What?
Roger Garrett. Mindy Sterngood. And there is also an albino
What about-
graboid
what about
named
Miguel?
Alfonso.
Wait, but what
Where's
about
Miguel
Nestor?
And Nestor.
They doesn't mention them.
Okay, so that's not.
That
I don't know.
can't
That can't be right. So
Your
anyway,
list is flawed.
It is
they
flawed.
pull up to Walter Chang's market. Melvin's bouncing his
Oh,
basketball around.
He's clearly neglected.
So yeah, so now we've met Melvin. So who the fuck are Melvin's parents?
I think I read something about like
Nestor's not his dad, right?
no, Nestor's not his dad. Like he has parents, but they're in Vegas all the time.
Okay, so he's just an unattended
Right, he's just
teenager.
an unattended teen.
So he's bouncing his basketball around. Bert and Heather are in the market picking up their groceries.
What
was
was
that? From
that?
another Tremors?
It's because in the movie they say there's 14, but they don't say who the 14 are. They tell you more in depth in the TV series.
Oh, so the
there's a
14
TV
named
series.
in the thing
Yes.
online was from the TV series, which I think
I
only came out a
see.
couple years ago.
Yeah, it seems
So
new.
they don't mention who.
Yeah, so it's
the 14
unknown, I
are.
guess. So
Anyway,
we meet Bert and Heather.
yes.
The what do you call them?
The gummers, the
preppers.
preppers.
The preppers.
Yeah, and they're like he's buying hollow point bullets, but they're not the correct hollow point bullets.
And they've got like flashlights and food, and so
Right.
they're there picking up their order.
Heather asked them what they've been up to, and they're like, "Oh, they met the new student." And Bert like goes all David Koresh about like the mining for
Right.
uranium up there. Next thing you know, the feds are knocking at your door, talking about eminent domain. It's time to move, and she's like, "Down, honey."
The way you worry, you're gonna have a heart attack before you can survive World War
I
III.
know, it's like, "Oh, we'll see," and they all laugh. Like they're all real. Because everybody knows
I mean,
everybody.
you have
like,
to be friendly, right?
Like up there.
So
I mean,
that-
I kind of think that would be cool, but at the same time,
I
like,
know it's one of those weird things where I feel like small town life would be awesome in a way, but also not.
If I could choose my own small town,
True. Yeah. I start a commune.
I would. That's what I would do if I had the money.
So Val and Earl head out. And we see the ground shaking and some rocks sliding while Rhonda is nearby burying this like monitor, whatever, seismograph thing. Under the
Right.
ground.
That's like the sensors are picking up something out in the desert.
And you see this point of view of something coming toward her low to the ground.
Right. It's like Jaws vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
like from the dirt.
a lump under the ground.
Land
moving.
shark.
Yep. But she gets in her truck and drives off right
Oh,
before
it gets
anything
all
happens.
close to her ankle.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
She has no clue, so she's gone.
Right.
Then we see Earl driving the cat,
Oh, yeah.
picking
That's
up
right.
him and Val are doing garbage day.
Right. They're shoveling shit and like they have that toilet cooler.
Yes, they have like an old toilet with beers
I mean,
in
why
it.
not? Whatever. I'm sure they cleaned it out before they put shit in it. That probably works real good. I don't know.
And then they go to clean the septic tank at Melvin's house.
Oh, and he says before that, like, no one handles garbage better than we do, or like the way that we do. And then, yeah, they go to do the septic tank clear out at Melvin's house, and then they have another argument about why they are still there and
Right.
like, whose fault it is that they're still there.
And if
And then
one more thing, whatever,
Oh.
and then shit just sprays
oh, the
all
line busts
over
and
them.
like, oh, it's nasty.
super nasty.
So that, of course, prompts them to leave. They go back to the trailer. They pack
Yeah,
up
so
their
this
shit.
is where I was like, oh, they're not homeless because they just
No,
showered in this
right.
trailer, so they live in this trailer.
They pack up their shit and they're out of there. And then they run into Nancy.
And tell her they're leaving town, and she's like, well, but wait, I have like work for a month, and I'll throw in lunches, I'll throw in beer.
And beer. I need this kiln built. And that's like, it's a month's worth of work if you stay.
And
And
they
then
head out anyway.
They turn her down. They say no. They're like, oh, shit. Can't believe we would have done that. you
Right,
know?
I can't believe we turned that down. They're stoked. They're leaving
Yeah,
town finally.
we
Nothing
fucking
between
did
us and
it.
Bixby, but nothing.
We're out there in the Sierras. It's all, oof.
But then they see a man up on the power line tower, and they're
Oh,
like, wait a
shit,
minute.
It's Edgar.
We know that guy.
He's passed out drunk again.
It's the local drunk. How the hell he get up there?
Right.
So they pull over to get him. They call out his name. He's not
He
budging.
doesn't answer.
So Val climbs up. Well, because they Rochambeau again. So
Right,
Val
again.
loses and's got to go up to get him. But
Oh, shit. He notices he did. I say you, he's dead.
he been dead. His
He
skin
done
be
dead.
peeling off and shit.
He's got his, like, shotgun up there.
I didn't even notice that he had a
Yeah,
shotgun
he
with
had a
him.
shotgun
Oh, that's
with
right,
him
because they
up
said
there.
something about he had his
Mhm.
Remington with them or something.
Yeah. He had his gun up there, like, while he was, whatever. And he's like, all, he's all dry.
It's the
Chapped.
desert.
It's the desert. He's been desiccated.
So they don't show it, but they somehow pull this probably hard corpse down off of this
they
pole.
probably had to, like,
They
break.
probably just chucked him down because I mean, like, why
well,
be
like,
careful?
what? Yeah, just push him off.
Just unleash
That's what I
him.
thought.
Yeah,
that
just
they
unhook him
would've
and just
done,
chuck
like,
him to
just
the ground.
Throw him off of there. I mean,
That's
like,
what
you
I would
tell
do.
him that that's what you did.
Yeah.
Like, what else can you do?
So they bring him back to town to see the doctor, and
Right.
they are all basically like, this could take 4 days for him to have dehydrated up there. So what the fuck kept
like he
him up
didn't
there?
have a heart attack. He died
Yeah.
of dehydration. Ha!
Jess is currently dying of dehydration.
Dehydration.
Or she's dying of dramatization.
Dehydration.
So then we see these sheep going crazy in their pen.
Yes, and like that old farmer dude's like, what?
He's hoeing. He just kind of shrugs
He's
it off.
out
like,
there
he out
hoeing.
there hoeing.
He's on the stroll.
You know how them old farmers be out there hoeing.
Old friend be
Hoeing. You see a scarecrow like lean over in the background
shit,
behind
yeah,
him. And
yeah.
then whoop,
Whoop.
no more old farmer.
No more old
He go
friend.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So yeah, so again, is this the thing? Oh, and then like again the seismograph things are going off.
And this time she sees it.
right.
And
she
then
thinks
pulls
they're
the guts out to see if it's broken.
she
like,
thinks it's wonky. Like
Yeah.
she thinks there's something wrong with it. And then again, Earl and Val are talking about like, what do you think happened to Edgar?
Oh my god.
What is happening?
So Earl and Val are headed out of town again, talking about why dude was up there and stayed
Right.
up there. Like
Why
what
do you
kept
think-
him up
yeah,
there?
why
with-
would
he
he
had
have,
his
like-
gun?
Be up there. Like, what's afraid of Remington?
Right. And then they stop suddenly because they see these fucking sheep just massacred.
Oh, it's a massacre. That's exactly what I wrote. Massacre.
And like, why didn't they take? Well, no, I guess they don't take everything underground and keep it under there. But like, why didn't they eat the whole thing? Like, why are they just bitten and left?
well, because it was just they were feeling snacky.
Maybe they only like human meat.
Maybe they shouldn't have eaten all the kitten meat.
Maybe you guys shouldn't have filled up on kitten meat. And you
They're just
be
baby
wanting
cats.
your sheep.
Jeez.
So they call out for Fred. That's the
Right.
farmer's name. There's no sign of him,
Old
but
Fred.
there's his hat.
Oh yeah, and he's got like this little shack.
Yeah.
He like lives out there
In this little
with
shack
his sheep.
with the sheep. Fred.
He's fucking them sheep.
Fred.
I'm saying, ring a ding ding.
Just saying. Just saying.
Old Fred.
So they find his hat and this
Old
dip
Fred
in
the
the
sheep
dirt,
fucker.
and they pick it up.
And
Oh,
shit! It's old Fred.
It's old Fred's face underneath.
He's in there like all terrified, like
What the hell is going on?
Oh god damn it!
And they head back into town and they tell these road workers, "There's a killer on the loose.
he's gonna-
Look out!"
People taking and get their heads cut off.
And that one dude sort of believes it, and the other guy's like,
He's
"Whatever."
like, oh, they're just fucking with us or whatever. And then
So-
like,
Guy goes back to jackhammering.
oh, and he fucking hits something.
Ooh, and it fucking screams
It
and bleeds through the concrete.
Oh fuck!
And then it just like takes up, and again, like Jaws, the way they dragged Chrissy or whatever her name was around, but
right
in the
but, like,
beginning,
he gets caught up.
but
in
it's
the
caught up
line.
in the thing. But like the way
Yes.
the thing moved through the concrete when it was like stuck in it.
This reminds me of what was that one? What was that Nightmare on Elm Street one where it was like they did like the Jaws thing with the glove.
Oh shit, I don't
Roseanne
remember.
was in
But
it?
yes, I remember
And
with
fucking
the
Tom
glove.
Arnold. It was Roseanne Arnold days.
Oh man,
Oh fuck.
I don't
Whatever.
remember which one it was.
Anyway,
So he gets wrapped up in the cord and is dragged all over, and the other guy gets crushed by a rock avalanche.
right, because it knocks over all the shit.
Because yeah, dragging him around causes
R.I.P.
one.
Carmine and Howard.
Is that what their names
Yes.
were? So then,
They go back to the market and tell everybody that
is it? Chang is talking to someone about the cattle being missing. Who, to Miguel? I can't even remember. I just wrote cattle being
Miguel.
missing.
Right, like they were missing, and then they tell him that Edgar was like killed, and then they leave again, and they've decided that they've left one day too late.
So yeah, the phone was dead, and then they go to leave again,
Right,
and then they see this rock slide, and they can't
where
get
those
through.
workers just were.
And they
There's a rock
see-
slide blocking the only road out of town.
So they get out to yell at these worker guys, like, "What the fuck? Clear this roadblock!" And
Oh,
see
they
this
see
hard hat
Bits.
full of brains,
Bits.
brain bits.
Bits.
So they get back in the truck and haul ass. Earl's loading up his gun. They back into the mountain.
Oh, he like Austin Powers is
And gets hung up on something.
Well, he thinks he does. Yeah.
Yeah. So Earl's telling him he's hung up, and he's like, "No, I'm not." He's like looking behind him, and he's not hung up. So he's
Right. Like there's nothing there.
He finally gets away. They get back to town.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's in the market already, like, and they're like, "Why are they back? They were supposed to be going for help."
Right. They were leaving. So what's going on?
So they come in talking about the road is closed, and that's when the little girl from Jurassic Park sees
Yes.
this. She starts screaming because there's
thing
this
out
tendril wrapped around the axle of their truck
Right. And then like Bert goes to pull it off of there. And it's like, oh,
with
like,
a
if it's-
shovel.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's dead. And like everyone goes in to look, and it's like, oh, there's got to be more of them and bigger. Like they couldn't have killed Fred and a whole flock of sheep all by
Right.
itself.
And Wong will give him $5 for it.
Right.
No, 20. Okay, 10.
10. Okay,
15.
15.
So then it's moon times.
It's it's moon time.
And the doctor that we saw earlier and his wife are
they're
out building
enjoying
their
moon
house,
times.
enjoying their moon
Oh.
times, their
It's gotta,
retirement.
like the stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Fuck Texas. But you know
Fuck
what?
Texas. But that song's fun.
If you guys grew up where we did, I don't know why in California, if this was a thing you did everywhere, but we had to learn that fucking song for some reason. Like, I remember in elementary school having to learn the fucking Texas song.
We used to say it all the time when there was like something that would come up all the time, like it was all malaria when malaria was in the news, and every time you'd hear it on the news, you go, deep in the heart of Texas. And then there was like
it
bird
was also
flu.
from Pee Wee, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
but I remember learning it in school for some reason. I don't know why.
I had you remember those Disney tapes or whatever, like bring, turn the
Yeah.
page. I had that one, but it was like the Pecos Bill story, and it
Oh,
was
and
like
it had that
the
in there.
little cowboy Mickey, and one of them was like deep in the heart of Texas.
Interesting.
Yes.
So they're out there building their house. They
Oh, yeah.
are probably in like partial retirement. He's
Oh.
decided to move to this tiny town and be a doctor for only the
They're building
population
their
14, building their dream home.
Right, that like where you could probably see the sunset.
Mhm.
Like
You
my
can see the
grandparents did this.
stars.
Not like out in Darwin,
They're
but
sitting on the back of their station wagon and the
Mm.
lights go out.
uh-oh.
What's up with that damn generator?
Oh, the Jenny's gone out. Like, and he follows it out and
It's
it's
gone.
gone.
He pulls the cord up and it is cut off. There is no generator.
Where'd it go?
It just like spits into the sky
It
like they
gets
hawk it like
spit
a
out right,
loogie
like,
out of the
"This is
dirt.
Nasty.
That
How
is not
dare
meat."
you serve me this shit?
And they smell something bad in the air.
Right?
and they
Like, why
hear
does it
something.
stink?
And the woman once she's like, "Let's go back," and he's like, "No, let me check it out.
Yeah,
it
let
might
me-
be a
let me
natural gas geyser.
I mean, I guess, but wouldn't that make it all the more important to leave?
Get away from it."
Yeah, you shouldn't probably fuck with that.
And then all of
Light
a
a
sudden,
match, Doc.
the man gets a foot shorter and
and
is screaming.
no, she's like desperately trying to
Oh,
pull him out
man.
of the
He sinks
hole.
into the ground, and she's like, "Yeah, trying to pull him." She gets that
Oh.
board, and it just fucking
Nope,
snaps into.
and he's like, "Get me out, get me out!"
And she digs for him, and that sneaky boy,
sneaky boy,
comes right up in her face.
in your face, bitch.
So she runs to the car, shuts the doors, and there's no key in the ignition.
Fucking, he had the keys. Jim did.
And that thing is fucking sliming all over the windows.
Oh.
Smack, smack, smack. That's not what it is.
I'm doing. I don't know,
don't
like
know what she
pantomiming over
did.
here.
And there's no key in the ignition. The
No.
radio is on though, and you can turn the lights on, which we had to have a whole discussion
I
earlier
guess
because
you
for
could
some
do
reason
that.
in my brain you cannot turn on the lights and radio without the key, but apparently you can. So hey, now we know.
I don't know. I mean, my
I
car
haven't
starts with
tested
a
it,
button
but
now.
the internet
so
says you can.
it's a button
I
now.
don't know. But in an '80s car, I guess you could. Because
It was a station
it was
wagon.
a '80s something
She
station
was dragging
wagon.
that wagon.
So she thinks she's safe, and then
But she's not
the
safe.
car starts to shake.
Oh shit! She's like,
Ooh,
ugh,
sucked the whole damn
the whole
wagon into
fucking
the ground.
thing. The lights are on. You can see him in the night
She's
sky.
honking. Like got the headlights
There's
on.
no one out there, bitch.
And then we're back at the market.
Well,
And Chang is charging everyone for photos with the tendril.
right. They're
Earl
all
and Val
sitting
got
in the
duped.
chair, like, oh, smile, look like you're scared. Like, ew, no, no.
And Bert's talking about arming themselves and setting perimeters.
Oh, they're loving this shit.
And Walter can't reach outside the valley on his CB because of the mountains. So
Right.
the phone's out, the road's out,
Everything's
they're
out.
on
They
their
are
own.
cut off.
But Walter has some horses they could ride to Bixby.
Right. They could get 38 miles to Bixby. They could take the horses. Who's best on horses? Well,
Look to Earl and Val, of
I
course.
guess they are.
So they pack up the horses, and Bert and Heather are going to go look for Rhonda to tell her what's up and to get out of the fucking whatever
Right.
desert out there.
Oh, and this little fucker Melvin.
Oh
runs
yeah,
out,
with
like,
his little
starts
runs out screaming with the thing wrapped around
This
his neck.
Little bastard.
And Bert tells him,
You're
no,
gonna get your ass kicked.
fucking no more games.
Right, no more games.
Too close.
Yeah, he
One
was
of
gonna
these
shoot
days,
him.
Somebody's gonna kick your ass.
Right, and I mean, like, good on him for at least practicing good gun safety.
And does Chang give him Swiss cheese and bullets before he leaves?
Yes, that is what he says.
Why
He
Swiss cheese?
Because it's got holes in it. I don't know.
My brain just stopped working when you said that. Huh?
I have an answer for you, but it's not the answer you see.
Okay.
Bullets make holes.
Yeah. So they
Bullets
take
make
off-
holes.
Yep.
There's holes in the cheese.
Duh.
There's holes in
Duh.
the
They go
ground.
together.
Holes.
Holes.
That's a different movie
That
we're
is a
not going to
different
cover
movie.
ever.
Little Shia LaBeouf.
There's nothing we can talk about with Shia LaBeouf's.
Well, there's a lot we can talk
LaBeouf's.
about with the Shia
LaBeouf's.
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 Monsieur Berfletet. Monsieur Berfletet. I'm normal.
So they pack up their horses. They take off.
They get.
And they come past the doctor's house and see the RV door swinging open.
Right.
And the car is gone. So we just missed him. That's all.
Yeah, because they weren't staying. They had to go to Bixby to get their block and like all that shit. They're not permanent residents yet. They were just in and out.
Well, where's the goddamn golden oldie coming from?
Right. They hear the music.
So they walk towards where's the music and they find the grill of the car buried under the dirt.
The fuck.
So they take off riding fast.
Ride fast away.
And then the horses get spooked.
Oh shit, they get stopped by a disturbance underground. And oh shit, oh no! They eat the horses!
Yep, one of the horses got.
Oh, I hate it.
Val shoots at it and hits it, but
It's
no.
not, that's not enough.
And the ground under their feet lifts up. He's like, it must be 1,000,000 of them.
Right.
Nope.
Just one.
And it's a fat fucking worm,
Big
whatever,
old
with these like
dune
tongue baby.
worm. Tongue
Yeah.
babies and fucking.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the dune sandworm
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
got like a big old mouth. And anyway, they take off running. It chases them.
It
You can
dives
see
under
it,
the
like,
ground, yeah.
underneath, like lifting up the ground, like bitch.
Mhm. Taking fence posts
Oh,
with it as it goes.
It moves everything. It freaks me out.
And they see this like ravine coming and they're like, we can make it.
They try to jump across the canal, but they
do
don't.
not
They
make it.
fall into it. But the fucker
That's
just
fine.
bloop.
Crashes
Blunt
into the
force
concrete
trauma.
and kills himself.
Right? He's like, oh, he's knocked out cold. Like, cold my ass. He's
dead.
dead.
We killed it.
We-
Fuck you!
Fuck you.
And then rocks tumble from behind and it's Rhonda.
Right,
Did you
she's
guys
like-
notice anything weird?
Was there
Like,
anything? What about?
how far
Oh.
away was she? She didn't just hear any of that, like horses screaming, people screaming,
I don't. That's what she was investigating that disturbance. She was like, did you hear a horse scream?
right? So then
A
she
minute ago?
sees the thing and then
she's like, oh, I'm gooped.
right? She's gooped. They
This
get down she gets down with them and breaks out the wall piece to see it all the way and take a closer
Right.
look.
This could be like the most important zoological find of the century.
No eyes, totally subterranean.
Right. Like it moves through using these little things.
Yeah, it's got these little spikies on it.
And Val's found the ass end of it. I found the
ass end.
Yeah.
And so she runs over with her papers as they're talking and is like, you guys. There's
Wait.
three more of these things.
Based on these readings, there's 3 more of these things out there somewheres in the desert.
Right. And they're like, how do you know? Because of fucking science. Hello.
Right. So they're like, we got to get back to the truck.
And then as they're heading for the truck, Earl trips and panics, but it's just a prairie dog.
I
Girl.
hate those fucking things.
Rhonda sees that the seismograph is going and is like,
Yeah. So they are like, they start running. It's
they
what?
run.
Seismograph noises. So she like, they make a run for it and they make it to the rocks. Like the truck is too far away.
And it's like snapping at their heels.
oh,
and the
it's
truck
right
is kind
behind
of
them.
far.
It is
like,
kind of far.
Why is she parked
Well,
so
then
far
maybe
from
that's
the
why she
thing?
didn't hear that shit because she was over there by the truck.
But so why did she park so far and walk so far?
I don't. What else was she doing?
Because otherwise they
She was doing a
wouldn't
J?
get to pole vault over these rocks.
She was doing a J out there. So
She's like, ooh, nobody.
This
will
is
see
the
me out
best
here."
place for it.
So they get up on these rocks and discover these things can't climb. They sit to think. They're talking about
Right,
what
they're
is
there
it?
for hours.
Radiation.
Oh yeah, what are
government
they?
made
Mutants,
them.
dinosaurs, some fossil, alien from outer space.
Right. And so they're like, finally, we got to do something.
Well, yeah, and it's been hours, and he's like, well, maybe he's gone away. Like, yeah, why don't you take a stroll and find out?
So they Rochambeau for it again, and Val has to go tap on the ground with the board, and whew, it's
Yep.
still there.
Immediately.
Been waiting for hours.
It's been listening. The rock is a perfect conduit.
Yeah, so they discover, oh, okay, so they can hear us, apparently, is what is happening.
Right. So they know that we're up here.
And then moon times come.
And then moon times.
Everybody has to pee and nothing else happens.
Right.
They
It's a
sleep.
good thing no one had to poop.
I know. What the hell?
I mean, I guess I would have
I
pooped
mean, maybe
already.
they did, but right? I
After
would have shit
seeing
my
that,
pants probably.
Shit my pants.
Maybe that's why no one had to poop.
Not in moon times.
They all 3 just were walking around with loaded fucking pants
Loaded
the whole
pants.
time. So no one mentioned
You know
it.
what? I do the
Just
same
mentioned
shit
it.
like it was Jaws. I just shit myself. It wouldn't want
Right?
to eat me.
And then he won't want to
I'm
eat me.
covered in shit.
Like, hey, you
Nope,
want to really
I'm
taste of this?
disgusted. I'd like shake my leg. Get a little taste of that. It's
So-
nasty.
So then at sometimes
Sometimes come again.
Rhonda wakes up next to Val under his
All
jacket.
snuggled up.
He wakes up and scoots away real fast,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
like, oh, God, she
no.
probably, like, touched my dick in the moon times.
And she sits up and realizes she has his jacket and hands it back and thanks him.
thanks.
And then you get Earl is like, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Earl gives him a little smile. So now the first order of business is to see if old Stumpy is out there, which is what they're calling that
That's
one.
right, because they can
It's the
see
one
that
that
it's...
got his truck and they
was
ripped
on the
one of its
truck.
thing off. So they toss a shovel down there, and it is still out there.
Indeed, it is still there. So they start arguing again over what they need to do and how they're going to get to the truck. And she's like, I have an idea.
You guys know how to pole vault?
Well, first they're talking over her, and she was like,
So
fine.
she just did it.
She just shows
basically.
it. She's like, you know how to pole vault, and then off she goes.
And I got to give it to her. Like,
Yeah.
throughout this movie,
X
she
gonna
does
give it to ya.
not need no fucking help from no man.
She doesn't
She
need.
can handle her
She
damn.
is a independent seismologist that
who
does
don't
not
need no man.
no man.
She want a man, but she don't need a man. There's a difference.
She'd like a man.
She'd like a man.
She'd like Kevin Bacon. Sizzle it up in the morning. Just call me Angel.
So she puts her. So they pole vault over.
Right. They do the
All the
little
rocks.
leaping onto the rocks. They get to the little
They decide
Mazda.
the last one they have to do together because
Right.
they're not going to have a lot of time.
It's going to be right on their butts.
And again, she puts the keys in her teeth. So instead
Yeah,
of
she is
dumb
capable.
bimbo, like, oh no, I dropped the keys.
oh no,
my
that
keys
would
aren't
be
ready.
fucked.
She's
But no.
fully prepared.
Right. She puts them in her mouth. They jump into the back of the Mazda. She goes through the back window and then drives with her hands.
Yes. And so they're like barely get away. It's breaking the window. She like is doing the gas with her hands, and they barely realize like she's like, can I get some help here?
Right. And they're like, oh shit.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh,
you're
fuck, her
like through
legs
the
are
window.
still
She
out
can't
the back
see.
window.
Like they're all, yay, we got away.
So they get back to the market, and Val is explaining that like these are not this little thing that we brought back on the truck. They're these huge monsters. blah,
Right.
blah, blah.
It's like attached to a bigger situation, and there's several more.
And Walter can't get Bert and Heather on the CB. They're asking Rhonda,
Oh,
what are
yeah.
these and where do they come from? And she's, like,
I don't know. Like, why do you keep asking me
And
what
Earl's
these
like,
things are?
it doesn't matter where they come from. And
Right.
Walter's like, well, we discovered them. We should be able to name them. So they're going through all these names for the monster, and they finally come up with
Oh, because they grab you.
graboids.
Right. Oh,
'Cause it was like
graboids. 'Cause, yeah, I was like,
snakeoids
I
and
like
all
the
this different
oids
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
I like the snakeoids. I like oids.
So they go with graboids, and
Ooh,
they're talking about
excuse me.
we got to get out of here. Well, where are we
Right.
supposed to go? And Rhonda has an idea,
Right. She says, well, they can sense the vibrations.
and they can't move through rock, so we need to go to these mountains that are all rock.
Right. But it's like an old Jeep trail. Like her truck's not going to make it up the whole situation.
And
right?
that's when Melvin screams again and throws his basketball
this
at
little
Earl.
motherfucker. Like, you're going to shit that basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little fucker.
And then we hear Nancy outside looking for Mindy.
What? Ah,
And
Okay.
Melvin's still bouncing his ball. So none of this got through about
no,
the vibrations.
No. Have they not been listening?
And then Melvin's ball suddenly disappears.
Oh, this
he
motherfucker.
screams.
But he plays too fucking much.
He sure do.
You
so
see what happens?
Earl goes out to kick his fucking ass.
Yes.
And Val comes to help. And like this is where I was like, where are this child's parents? But we
Right.
already discussed this now.
Yeah, I know.
So he's up on the pole and they're like, oh,
Oh
shit.
shit.
He's scared.
Yeah, like so they run back and then they go and see fucking Mindy is out. And does she have a Walkman
Well,
on?
first
Is
the
that what
graboid comes out right then and
Mm.
almost gets Val, and everyone scatters.
That's right.
Some go back into the market, and some just like go on,
Right,
on
they
top,
go in their-
like into their different little
wherever they
shacks
can
and
go.
trailers and
Yeah.
whatever. And it goes under the market, and that's when
Oh,
she's like, "We gotta be quiet, no
Right,
noise,
don't
no
move,
vibrations."
right.
And then you hear,
oh, this fucking kid. And she's got like a Walkman on. Is that why she can't hear
"Uh-huh,"
them?
and so they go out going like, "Get out
Well,
the fucking thing," and she
okay.
can't hear them.
So it is a population of 14.
Right.
And her mom is looking for her already.
Right.
She didn't find her?
Uh-huh.
To tell her before
She's
she's,
right
out there
outside.
pogo sticking? Mindy.
And so Val goes fucking he bails. He goes
Right.
taking off towards her. Nancy's right behind him, and Val snatches her off the pogo stick right before it gets sucked into the ground.
Right. It stays upright and then like gets sucked down and then spit out on
like
the other side of
again,
them.
what are you feeding me?
I know. I don't want that.
So they run, and Val gets on top of his truck. Nancy and Mindy get in their house.
Oh, and then Rhonda gets out there and like, is this where she trips on that barbed wire?
So then
barbed
he's up on
wire?
the truck
Barbed
hanging
wire.
on for dear life as this thing
Right.
like bucks the truck around, and another one comes from another direction at Earl and Rhonda.
Right.
And
There's
so-
a lot of action.
Earl runs for the market, and Rhonda gets tripped up on the barbed wire.
Mhm.
And because it like comes up under the ground under it, rolls her through the
Yes.
barbed wire,
Yeah,
and she
and
gets
then, like-
super caught up in the
And then
barbed
it starts
wire.
pulling the fence pieces.
Yes,
and, like,
so it's
drags
dragging her in.
Yes.
And Val gets the pickaxe and runs out to her rescue, stabs it in the head, and it's
Right. And he like tries to get the thing untangled, but he can't. So she's got to take her pants off.
and the tendril pulls the pickaxe out of the big.
Oh yeah,
part
it
of the
like goes
monster.
its little fucking mouthpiece, like all what is this
So they
on my back?
They get her pants off and get her out just in time.
Right in the neck.
Another one pops up behind them. They get up, run
Oh.
to the market. The
And that-
boards of the patio.
Oh, that iconic
that
wave. Yes.
And they get into the market just in time.
Mm-hmm.
So then she's up on the counter, legs all cut up, and Val
Uh-huh.
is doctoring her.
Oh, we find out that her legs do indeed go all the way up.
And Earl's giving him that smile.
Right, and there's like people in the background, like they're getting shoes and pants for
Yeah,
her together,
they
but
get
like
her
they're
some
just
new
kind of
clothes.
like standing there and handing back and forth.
I didn't
The
even notice
shoes and
that.
the well, because you're just supposed to like move and be background or whatever. You're not supposed to notice it,
Right.
but I did.
And Walter says we need to take the truck to the mountain and get to Bixby.
Mhm.
And then that fucking freezer starts going
Oh
off.
shit, we need to turn it off. And they like get up there, but then the fucking thing comes up through the floor.
Oh, and
It
gets
gets egg.
Walter. Sucks him
Egg,
right
wrong
up.
movie.
And it's again very Quint in Jaws. The way it
Yes,
sucks
it like
him up.
grabs him and it like wings him
Wings him
around, and they try to
around.
like pull him out, but no, it's too late.
Son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
And another one comes up behind the counter. So Rhonda gets up on the shelves.
Oh god, these janky shelves with the fruit snacks on
Oh
them.
yeah, so everyone else is like up on the freezer. Everyone starts going for the roof because Val sees there's like an opening
Right.
to the roof.
Yes, and like she starts jumping across the top of the shelves.
Which again, she's not helpless. Look
No.
at her go. She's
No,
just like,
she's
get her
not.
done, man. Get to that fucking roof.
get her done.
But it knocks him down
It
like fucking dominoes.
those fucking shits
and
down.
she goes out the window.
Oh no.
So Val scrambles to the roof and immediately runs to see where she's at, and she is not on the ground.
Nope, she's on the tower, the water tower right next door.
Because she is a capable woman.
She is capable.
She didn't just fucking lay there and get
Nope.
eaten.
She had a brand new pair of shoes. and
That's
a pair of
right.
Levi some dungarees.
She
and
sure
she was
did.
ready.
And so Melvin is still in this little shack yelling about what's going on.
Right,
And they're
like,
like,
shut
get
the
on your
fuck
fucking
up."
roof.
Yeah. And he's like, wah, 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 and then he sees it. It comes from him. He's like, yeah, shut the fuck up.
And they yell at Nestor and Nancy to get on their roofs.
Well, Nestor is not with them. It's Nancy and the little girl.
No,
and
but they
Mindy.
yell across to
well, yeah,
wherever
to tell
they are, like telling
Nestor's
everybody.
on the roof of a trailer.
Oh,
isn't
that's
he?
right. He's already up there.
Right.
So then we see Bert and Heather pull up home with their Uzi for You license plate.
Yes. Which is hilarious. And like they make it back and like
So they don't know what's happening. They know
Right.
just about the one graboid they found stuck to the truck. They
Right.
don't know the
They haven't
vibration
seen
part,
anything else.
any of that stuff.
No, they haven't. They've missed everything. But Heather looks out onto the town and sees that everyone's up on the roof and something's up.
So they call Walter on the CB, and Val, like, they lower Val down by his feet to get the CB.
Right. So he's able to talk to him and like Heather's doing that. What is that ammo thing?
See, and now my husband had his fucking earbuds in. I'm watching this, and I'm like, hey, what's that? What does that do? What's
What
that
is
blue
that?
thing? Does it clean the ammo?
I don't know
What's
what it is.
happening. Why isn't that thing? And he had his earbuds in, so
And
I
he
don't
didn't
know.
hear any of it.
But they put it in this big thing that makes a lot of
Right.
fucking noise
It
and
vibrates,
vibration.
especially.
Somebody tell us what was that fucking blue thing?
Yes,
I don't
please
know.
let us know because we don't know.
It's a bullet polisher.
Oh,
A bullet polisher?
Before you pack them with gunpowder.
Oh, like before
Oh.
you pack them again.
Yeah.
There
So
you
they're
go.
making
Before
their
you
own
repack
ammunition?
your ammunition, you have
Ah.
to clean them in that machine.
That
Apparently,
makes sense then. Because
so there you
they
go. No,
seem like
don't
they would-
message us. Now we know.
Now we know. Never mind. False alarm.
So like he's talking to them on the CB, but can't really hear, and like
Right,
she's
like,
trying to
come
tell
back.
him, hey, they're on the roof.
Yeah, like turn the
listen to
fucking
them,
thing
please.
off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess how would you know?
But if you're gonna have a conversation, turn the fucking thing off. You're trying to radio town. You know something's going on. turn the fucking thing off so you could talk about it and
Right.
figure it out what's up.
And so Heather's finally like, just listen to him. Something is wrong. So they
Right.
lock and load.
Yes, they're locked and that's exactly what I wrote. They're locked and loaded.
They
and
peek out their
ready.
little windows. We don't see anything. And they're like,
Right,
no,
they're
it's,
like,
under the ground.
But they're like, no, like they still do not go above ground.
Because their underground shelter is supposed to be like the shit.
Well, that and all their shit's down there.
Right, all
So-
their-
which
yeah,
we
all their
come to
guns
find
and
out
shit.
here in a minute.
So then they start to hear it. The walls are rattling, shit's falling,
Rattling.
and then it comes through the wall and it roars like Jaws.
So now my question is, like, this is a cinder blocked
Right? Why didn't
basement
it?
that they built like with
Right.
this kind
I
of
thought it would
survivalist
just
shit in
smash
mind?
itself like it did
Because
on the
they-
concrete.
Yeah. So why didn't it?
I don't know.
That's
hole.
a plot hole because I feel like they would have done a better job fortifying
Right?
some shit in their.
But I guess
Romper
I
room.
mean they didn't anticipate tunneling into their romper
Well,
room, but
he
like
does say
explosions
that
and shit.
later.
You'd think it'd be like explosion proof.
Nuclear, like this is fucking
Yeah,
Hills
it's just
Have
like
Eyes
your
country.
fallout shelter.
I don't know, man. That's a plot hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think this didn't really happen. I'm sorry.
So they
Are
start
you
shooting.
okay?
I'm
So
not.
anyway, they
I'm
started
dying.
blasting.
Anyway, they start blasting. They got all their guns. They got guns upon guns upon guns.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a
because
whole
it
wall
busts
of
through
fucking
the wall,
guns.
right?
Yeah.
And then we see their fucking arsenal. It's like the Matrix.
And
When the
nothing is
fucking
yeah.
thing comes through.
Nothing is working, and he gets the
No.
elephant rifle.
Yeah, they have like
Break
those
glass in case of emergency.
And
Fucking
this is
elephant
a
rifle.
fucking emergency, and that's what I said too. I was like, "Oh shit, is that an elephant gun?" And she says it later. I'm like, "Oh, I was right."
Yeah, so-
Because what else could that be?
Heather shoots a flare into its mouth, and then Bert shoots it in the mouth with the elephant gun twice, and it finally goes down.
Right.
So, like, I guess you got to get it in the mouth.
I-
Is the thing.
Or just shoot it with some, because I would imagine that shit, like once it gets inside, probably like explodes.
You would think.
I
Broke
don't know.
into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard?
You bastard!
And so he calls in to Val, we killed that mother humper, come back.
Well, be advised, there are two
More mother
two more
humpers.
mother humpers out there.
So they tell him to get on their roof, and they're like, oh, I guess we can't make fun of Bert's lifestyle anymore.
Right, because, it came through.
And so one of these graboids is still like going around the outside of Bert and Heather's house. He's like trying to shoot it through the dirt, and it's not working. Even
He's
with
like
the elephant
interrupting her with his gunfire.
gun. Yeah. And
She's like, you're not getting penetration even with the elephant gun.
and they're like, forget shooting them. Get to your truck. You have the only truck that can make it up this
Yeah.
trail. Go for help.
And then as they're saying this, they look out there and the graboids are coming for the truck. They know to take out the truck.
Right. So they're learning.
Mm.
So they start taking out the truck, and it's then the other one's sniffing around the market outside, and the foundation starts to lift,
Right.
and the
They're
fucking
like
roof starts to like wiggle and cave
for,
in.
weaknesses. Because that's what they say when they were talking about it earlier, was that it moves through the sandy
Right.
desert real easy, and that's why they have to get to the mountain because they can't get through the rock. Apparently, can get through cinder block.
Right. So they call Bert, hang on, this bastard's trying something new.
Right.
And so it goes like building to building and digs under the
Right.
structures to see like if there's weaknesses.
Yes.
And so it's studying them, I guess they say.
Mhm. It can hear them, but it can't find them. That's what Rhonda says, isn't it? Like she's like, it can hear us, but it can't grab us. It can't figure out where we're at. So we're kind of pissing it off. Right
So
now.
it finds Nestor's mobile home
Oh no.
and knocks it over.
Oh no.
And he
It,
panics.
it tips.
And they tell him to get up on top of something, and he gets on a fucking
Oh,
tire.
I have a thing ever since this. It's like a thing about like on a tire. If I see a tire out on the dirt like that, like I won't go near it. It's like going near a storm
fucking
drain.
graboid's gonna come up in the middle.
Yes, it's like going near a storm drain. But now I won't do that either
And it
because there's a
hits-
clown in
yeah.
there. But I won't go near a tractor tire on the dirt because clearly I'm gonna get sucked bum first.
Yes, straight into the ground, and you can hear him screaming, being
Oh.
dragged under the earth.
Poor Nestor.
And Melvin's fucking panicking.
Yeah.
So they call Bert and Heather back, like, we're in deep shit over here. We're gonna need to change plans.
Right, and they tell him also, like, you better forget about the truck. Like,
because it fucking the
we're-
graboid took their truck.
we're losing all hope here.
So Rhonda's like, look, there's got to be a way to make it to solid rock.
Right.
And they're like, God, we need a fucking helicopter or tank. Wait a minute.
What about the cat?
It's slow, but it weighs 30 tons. I don't
Right,
think they
like-
can drag that down.
I don't think it can, but we can't fit everybody on the cat.
Oh, but what about that old trailer with the flat tires? It'll drag anything.
It can drag anything, so that'll be the thing. But that's kind of a long walk.
So we need a distraction.
Yeah, how are we?
Hey, Melvin, you want to make a buck?
Yeah, fuck you.
So they Rochambeau. Oh no! First they have the idea about the little tractor.
Yeah, they
so
do.
there's a little tractor tied up, and that's what they're going to use.
They're
for the
gonna
distraction.
have the little truck. They're gonna put the gas down on it and just send it out and to distract.
And
the
now
guy.
they're fighting over who gets to go instead of being like
oh no,
Rochambeauing
I'm
for.
the oldest. I'm
they
gonna
both
do it.
want to
I'm
be the hero.
Fastest. I'm gonna do it. And then
Yeah.
they Rochambeau for it. And this time
Earl wins.
Earl wins, and he was like, "Oh well, Val wins." And he was like, "Oh well, that means I get to." Or no, Earl wins. He's like, "Well, that means I get to pick."
Right, and
who
then
gets to do
instead
it.
Val goes. So the Miguel had gone down and like tied the tractor wheel up and started it to
Right.
get ready to release it.
And it works.
And it works.
It follows them or whatever, and they do that whole thing. But
Val says, "Good luck, shithead."
yeah, don't worry about me. What is it?
Jerk off.
Yeah, well, don't worry about me. Jerk off. And then he pushes him.
And he makes Val
He
takes
runs.
it and makes the jump, lands on his fucking ass.
Oh,
This is like
he,
me
like-
jumping off the roof.
The roof. The roof. The roof is on fire.
Good thing it wasn't. Oh my god. So Earl's
bad.
like, he watches him go. You suicidal son of a bitch.
Oh man, but he's so quick and spry, little Kevin Bacon, little Kevin moving
Running
his
on them
bacon,
little
so
bacon
quick.
legs.
Little bacon legs.
Imagine him having bacon strip legs.
Kevin with his bacon strip legs.
Oh, I want to draw.
Oh
the
God,
picture
do
now.
it! You need
Oh no,
to
I
do
just
it.
Photoshop him with bacon strip
I know
legs.
that's all we gotta do.
Oh shit!
Kevin
All right.
with his bacon strip legs.
And so the tractor falls over. The tractor falls over and the engine sputters to a stop.
Oh shit!
And Earl's like, keep going. And
Right,
Rhonda's
but
like,
no,
no, stop.
stop.
Don't
need
make
to
any
stop.
noise.
Right,
And he
it's-
does.
Right, so he stops, and then we see like one graboid come out, and then another one right behind him.
Ooh,
So
they're
he's
on both sides of him.
surrounded.
And they
And-
can't see him.
Their little mouths come out, like sniffing
Sniffing up,
around.
yep. And Earl's like, look, we got to make a lot of noise. So everybody starts yelling and stomping. And Rhonda sees this water pipe
Right.
and goes down and kicks it
Oh,
so that
she's a smart lady.
Yeah, she is. And once all that water starts hitting the ground, then that draws the graboids back.
Right, and then Val makes it to the cat and links up the trailer, and the graboid comes for the tower and takes the ladder.
These things are smart. Man.
I know. And then Val's on his way, and the cat, Yahoo!
I said Val Yahoo's his way
Yeah.
back.
Nice.
And Rhonda jumps in that cat claw thing.
She's in the bucket.
Climbs in the seat. And the
And
graboids are trying to get up. They can't.
Nope.
Up on the cat.
And Heather and Bert are out there making pipe bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, goddamn armored transport.
Hell yeah. So they, but now every time they stop, the graboids are trying to
Right.
grab at the tires and make it sink. So
'Cause
they got to
they're
keep going.
They
'Cause
grab
they
it.
do.
Shit.
It's
They
in
be
the
like, that's
name.
kind of what they do. It's like their thing. So they're like trying to make these bombs. They're like, hurry, yo ass.
Yeah, they're taking forever loading up with their
bring
weapons.
yo ass.
Which, like, that's such a hard thing because, like, of course you need the weapons,
Well,
but
yes.
also they're gonna suck us under the ground.
well,
so,
could
like,
they not like?
can we just move a little bit?
circle?
Yeah, circle the house or
Circle?
something.
I mean, like it wasn't like it's like a long trailer. It goes real slow.
Yeah,
Like
so,
they could do their thing and run it. Whatever. It's a tactical question.
So they get in. Melvin wants a gun. Bert's like, I wouldn't give you a gun if it was World War III.
Right. He hands like. Oh no, that's later.
So
So,
they
yeah.
go out, and Bert is lamenting the loss of their shelter. Underground goddamn monsters.
It took underground monsters. I almost said the monsters. Underground monsters. Herman Munster's down there like.
So they're almost to the rock. There's no sign of the graboids, and they're like, "Oh, they just gave up." And then wait a
No.
minute, you can see them out there.
Yeah, they're out in the distance.
100 feet out
They're
in the
doing
distance
some
in the dirt.
shit.
Oh shit, they dug a fucking trap.
Yep, they sure the fuck did.
So the cat
goes
nosedives in
nose
it.
first. They're stranded. They've dug a fucking trap. They fire on it, and Bert goes for the fucking
For the bomb. Hungry?
bombs. Yeah,
Eat this!
but he puts the bomb out there like real close to this
Yeah,
fucking
kinda
thing. Like
close.
it's metal, but fuck, dude, there's children in here.
And he didn't get one. They can still see the 2 dust trails. So they're coming back.
He asked me, he's like, "What's in there?" He's like, "Oh, it's a few household chemicals in the proper proportion."
And Val's like, we're going to have to make a run for it, but like the rocks are far.
Right. So he gives Melvin the unloaded gun.
Well,
and-
Rhonda has this idea where what if we throw the bomb where we want to go because
Oh,
it seemed to
yes.
scare them off
right.
and hurt them. So if we throw it where we want to be, they'll run from where we want to be and we can run that direction.
That's right. That's what she says. So they
he
do
gives
that.
Melvin a gun because he doesn't want to go.
But he still, if you notice back there, like he checks and makes sure that the gun is unloaded before he hands it off.
Oh,
because he does indeed follow proper safety precautions.
Right. So they throw the bomb. You hear the monster scream. They
Right.
run for it. And Melvin tries to shoot and realizes this gun is empty.
Bert, you asshole!
Mindy falls and Earl snatches
Of
her up and
course she
carries her.
fucking does.
She's like,
Of
9.
course she fucking does. And not her mama picks her up.
Well, she tried for a second, and
that's
Earl was
true.
just like, get out the damn
I
way.
know. Whatever.
So they're like, we can't make it to the mountains using these bombs. Like, this is not enough. And Bert's all mad. Like, we would have been better off at my house.
Right. They're like, yeah, we could have made our last stand at my house where we had food
And
shelter.
Val's all pissed. He's like, basically, you're ungrateful, and I'll kill you if the
Right.
graboids don't.
Doint. If they don't, then I'll do it.
And then Heather tells Bert, just let it go.
Right.
He
Just I
thinks he
know.
knows
I
everything.
know. I know how it is. Like she's real good at
Uh-huh.
Reba with her no lip. That's what she traded. She traded her lips for her ability to calm down the situation at any time.
And to sing.
And to sing like
Yep.
an angel.
Yep.
Like an angel.
So they're hanging out on the
Country
rock.
angel.
Everybody's stuck on this rock, and Bert says before he starves, he'll just take a bomb with a fuse lit and let one take him down. Boom.
Right? And he was like, "Oh, well, maybe that's not such a bad idea."
Earl,
and
so
everybody
Earl's
laughs,
like, yeah,
but
that's a good idea.
that's a good idea.
go
That gives me
fishing.
an idea, like fishing.
So they start throwing little rocks to see if they're still out there, and they are.
Yeah.
And Earl has this bomb on a rope, and they put like a certain amount of fuse
Right.
to
It's
make
like
it.
15 seconds for the fuse. He's like, his cannon fuse. Like,
What
do
the hell
you
you use that for?
My cannon.
Duh.
Obs.
You think Bert don't have a
Of
motherfucking
course,
cannon?
Bert's got a cannon. Like, once again,
He got an elephant gun.
you might have could have stayed there, really and true. If you could have just
Honestly?
made, like, if they would have picked everyone else up first and then went to the Gummers,
Right.
that was probably
Maybe
the
the best
fucking
place
move.
to stay. Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, they were backed up against the wall. Like, it would have taken it down eventually. But I mean, like, they
They
could
had
have
so much weaponry there.
done 2 more. That was foolish.
So Earl's gonna do his lasso thing. So Val lights him up. They all
Right.
run back in the rocks, and Earl
Uh-huh.
lassos out, pulls this rope slowly, and the graboid takes the bait.
And boom!
Fucking graboid guts rain all over them.
Everywhere.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
So we're down to, is it just 1 now?
2.
2. Trying for this one. So it comes for the rocks.
Or
And-
no, maybe
no,
it
this
is
is the
one-
last one. This is
yeah,
the last
it's a
one.
Stumpy.
This is Stumpy, the one that had his truck. So
Right,
Val
right.
wants to do it this time.
Right.
And so they take it. He does the thing and they take it, but they spit it back at them in the rocks.
And it falls like right in between
right
the little
in everywhere.
crevasse,
So
and they all
everyone
scatter.
scrambles. Yeah. And it lands on this bag of other bombs.
Oh shit!
Which all go off.
Of course.
And like most of the rest of them at least somehow stayed near rocks, but Val, Earl, and Rhonda all went way far out in the dirt.
They went out into the dirt, like, "Hey guys!"
And the last graboid is right there.
And Val has the last bomb on his person. So they all freeze. There's 1 bomb left. The others are trying to distract it.
Right, they're trying to make noise on the rock, but it's not.
But
falling
he's like,
for it.
no, he didn't fall for it. Like, this is a smart motherfucker. So we're just going to stay right here. And they're like, you have the last bomb. He's like, but it's the last one.
Well, what else are you gonna use it for?
Yeah. They're like, throw the bomb, stupid.
So Val's gonna go for it. He
Right.
runs. The graboid pops up.
Yep.
Earl runs after him. Rhonda runs after him, and
She's
she has
got the lighter, so she has to.
They run for the cliff, and he stops at the edge.
Like, what are you, crazy, man?
He makes the fuse super short,
And
and
he's
is like
"Not
waiting,
yet,
waiting
not
for
yet."
it to get close.
Now.
lights it, throws it behind it.
Oh, you
which
fucking
scares
missed.
it through the
Once
cliff.
it goes off, it scares the motherfucker and it runs.
It propels faster and it goes right through the fucking cliff wall.
Val jumps
Can you
at the
fly,
last
you
second.
sucker?
Can you fly? And out it goes. Woo!
And it fucking
Bleh.
bursts.
Nasty.
It just suddenly hit me, you know?
Nasty.
Stampede.
Stampede.
And everyone cheers from the rocks.
Yeah.
So, new tires for the truck, showered.
Yeah. We're
Dressed
feeling
up,
good.
leaving
We're going
town.
to Bixby's.
We could be in People magazine.
We could
Hell.
indeed.
National
Is she taking a
Geographic.
picture because they have the thing in the back of the truck?
I
or
think
is
they
it just
do. I
them?
think they have the body
I would
of the
assume
thing.
because she talks about they got to go back and she's going to be on the researching
Yeah.
team.
Well,
And
there's
they're-
4 bodies. I mean, there's pieces
Well, yeah.
of all these things everywhere.
She's got to go back to the one that they dug up.
Yes.
She talks about that. So
So she takes their picture and she thanks them for saving her life and says, maybe I'll see you sometime.
oh, and like he's
Uh-huh.
like, sure.
Well, see ya.
Bye,
And Earl gives him a look like,
girl.
girl? Earl gives him a look like, girl?
Girl gives him a look like
Are you
Earl.
going to let her walk away? And he says, what does a woman like her want with a guy like me? Then he runs after her.
Oh,
I just wanted to
smooch on ya.
take you to Makeout
Make out
Town.
town.
Won't you take me to Makeout Town? Look at my dog thought we were making kissing noises at her. She came
She's
walking
like,
over
yeah?
when we did that.
Yeah,
And that is the
yeah.
end
Roll
of
credits. Reba
Tremors.
McEntire rocking it out.
And there are apparently lots more Tremors and
There
a TV
are, but I've
series,
never seen it.
and I have not either.
And I kind of wanted to check out the TV series.
Yeah, I heard that was actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
heard that was well done, so we
So,
should check that out.
Like we should watch it. But yeah, no, it definitely do me. I'll not get in a tire. I'll not climb on a tire in the dirt times.
Yeah, I
in
don't
the
know if
sun
Tremors
times.
doomed me to do anything other
It's like
than
Land Sharks.
enjoy Kevin Bacon movies and like
Well, I love Kevin Bacon movies. I told you I made a whole day out of it. I watched Hollow Man. That's a weird fucking movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
It's rapey. But I feel like it was like late 90s. It came out or like early 2000s. It came out. I feel like I worked at the movie theater when it came out.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
like,
think I
at
ever
that
watched
times.
that one.
It's weird.
It's extra
there's a-
non-consensual.
there's not a lot of consent in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of consent.
So yes, once again, no yearbook signings, y'all. DoomGenerationPodcast@gmail.com or leave us a message that we can play during this time at 1-702-720-DOOM or
During
leave
this
us an
difficult
Apple
time.
review. All of the links are in our link tree on Instagram, Doom Generation Pod. And
Everyone's already turned it off by now. That's why we don't get any.
Stay tuned for Invasion of the Pod People.
Yes.
Until next week.
We'll talk at you next time. Later, dude.
Hi there, I'm Dustin. Do you have a comfort show that you always go back to? Or perhaps there's a TV series you haven't seen in a while and wonder if it's still any good? Well, welcome to the Rewatch Recap, a show where friends and I will queue up an older TV show we've seen and then give a breakdown with commentary of how we feel watching it now, and making fun of it if it doesn't hold up, of course. Dropping episodes weekly, it's easy to rewatch along with us. We'll be focusing on shows from most any era, so suggestions are always welcome. First up is the first season of MTV's Scream, the series, with guest host Aureline from the Spooky and Strange podcast. And after that, we'll go back to the 1990s for the canceled too soon teen series, My So-Called Life, with guest host Kay from F My Work Life. It's sure to be fun, so be sure to check in with us every Monday on the Rewatch Recap. Are you an adult that wants to read but doesn't really have the time or the attention span? Are you behind on your TV viewing and just want to know what's out there? Well, look no further than Dustin Can Read and Watch! I'm Dustin, and we've got modern and retro young adult and middle grade books. Dustin Can Read. We've got television and movies. Dustin Can Watch. Recent comedies, supernatural, musicals, and even the MCU. Show only meant for adults. Parents suggested to listen to the program before subjecting their children to idiocy. This program is not always safe for work. For more info on this podcast, hit me up on Instagram at Dustin Can Read or on Twitter at Dustin_Holden. Don't miss out. It's all going down on
Dustin Can Read and Watch.